Hi, this is Mark Devine, founder of SEALFIT. This video with 1.x million views of us doing a 45-minute plank was just an ad hoc video or an ad hoc evolution that we did at our SEALFIT Academy back in 2013. In our academies, we train mental toughness through hard functional exercise, through teamwork, and through crucibles. It's important to note that this evolution, though it looks like a physical evolution, really is a mental and emotional and team training evolution. The physical part really was secondary. So whether we did our plank hold on our elbows or in what we call a leaning rest position from the SEAL days really didn't matter to me. The point was to be able to sustain a horizontal to the earth position for as long as possible using the skills of the big four. So I know there's been some back and forth about whether it's a real plank to be in the lean and rest or whether you need to be on your elbows. That's semantics to us, right? That it really is not important and is secondary to the whole thing. Neither is it important whether the student was able to maintain that plank position for the whole 45 minutes. Remember, this is a basic training academy. Most students couldn't, although a few did, and so those were the more advanced students. So the whole point of the video is to inspire others to say, wow, that's possible. Most people won't even try like a 5-minute plank, and if they do, they think, wow, that's incredible, and it's very empowering to do a 5-minute plank. Again, it doesn't matter to me as your coach whether that plank is both hands down leaning rest, one hand down side to side, down to your elbows, as long as you're not putting your knees down. Ideally, you would see people hold a perfect plank for all 45 minutes to an hour or whatever. Occasionally, the core will go weak and someone will drop down and take a momentary rest. And as long as they can get back into the plank position within like 3 seconds is my general rule, then they're good to go, right? We won't call that a rest. Again, we're trying to teach the process of developing progressively stronger mental state of mind and control over the internal dialogue, control over your emotional state through challenging yourself in this plank position. Since we've been challenging people to do this, that they're coming with greater and greater core strength, core stability, and we've done planks now for well over 70 minutes and had people maintain a fairly strict plank position in the leaning rest, not on their elbows, I might add. There's nothing dangerous at all about this unless you have a structural integrity problem with your shoulders, in which case if you put a lot of, this does put a lot of pressure on your shoulders. Any type of pushing or plank hold will put pressure on your shoulders. But if you've been training properly and done a lot of push-ups and pull-ups and core development, then this is not a dangerous evolution at all. In fact, it's much less dangerous because of the lack of movement than a lot of the high ballistic type things that you might find, say, in a CrossFit style workout. Most people you see in the videos at SEALFIT are civilians. I would say 95% of our clientele now are everyday men and women or young adults who are striving to better themselves, to train themselves physically and mentally, to access elite level performance, to learn how to kick in flow states at will, those types of things. Or they're specifically training for one of our crucible events like the 20X or 20XL or Kokoro Camp, where they're going to challenge and test those things. About 5% nowadays are special ops candidates, Navy SEAL candidates, Green Beret candidates, other forces candidates, Marines and Rangers. It's one thing to listen to me talk about the use of breath control and positive self-talk and managing your internal dialogue and mental emotional states. Visualization and micro goals setting and task orientation basically just summarize the big four skills. It's one thing to talk about them. It's one thing to practice the individual elements, yet it's a whole nother thing to bring them all together and to apply them under pressure. So all these students that we train in the academy, the Performance Academy, they're going to need to use these skills during the crucible. The crucible is like 100% pressure, 100% of the time for 12, 24, or 50 hours. And there's not a single person who's been there, and many of you listening probably have, who haven't relied on these four skills. So the plank is a way for us to put the pressure on really quickly, really early in someone's training with us at SEALFIT to prove to them that these skills are money. They work. I don't have any more to say on the matter. Get your ass to SEALFIT and come do some training with us. Don't just be a YouTube commenter, right? You put that on there.